Okay, let's see what we got going on here. All right, well, we look good on camera. Everything looks good on camera. And mhm, solid. Jackson,
What's up?
rock and
We
roll.
What's up, everybody? Happy Memorial Day. Welcome to episode 343 of Boog Life, pitted with Action and Manny V. And boy, do we have a good one tonight. All kinds of killer bodyboarding action going down this
So good.
holiday weekend. Two words to describe what I've been feeling this weekend. Absolutely frothing. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I stayed up until almost 3 a.m. the past two nights watching the Shark Island Challenge. And while that was going down, on the other side of the world, on an entirely different continent, the Itacoatiara Pro Brazil kicked off in solid 10-foot surf. So the sport of bodyboarding has been firing on all cylinders this weekend. So let's get right into it. Shout outs. I'm just going to lay it all out on the table. My shout out this week goes to everybody involved with the 2026 Bodyboarding King Shark Island Challenge. The staff, the riders, Sporting News Australia for carrying the live stream on YouTube. Across the board, an epic event. Just wow. I mean, the barrels that were being ridden, some of the wipeouts that were being taken, everybody was charging.
yeah. I agree with you 100%. Holy crap. I wasn't able to watch the event in its entirety. I had a little window there where I was able to watch. um I mean, I watched it all now. I went back and watched the recording, but holy crap. Just watching it live and imagining what it would have been like being there present while everybody was just hucking their bodies onto this slab that we know as Shark Island must have been insane. But I felt freaking pretty, it was so exciting. And that again, I'm just going to agree with you 100%. The webcast was on point. Uh, Craig and the judges were on point. And yeah, and the riders, of course. And the fact that you can sit in the channel and watch this event from the water, the best seats in the house is like, where else do you see that? You don't see that in any other sport. And that to
No
me
other
is like,
sport, no other event do you get to sit in the channel and get a
exactly.
perfect view right into that barrel
Yeah.
while guys are driving through or getting worked by by surge. That's
Yeah.
the best view you are ever going to get. So if you get the opportunity to be at the Shark Island Challenge and be in the water watching it all go down live, it doesn't get any better. I would have killed to have been one of those Groms sitting in the channel.
100%. I mean, and then the lady finalists, I know that there's a few of them in the channel. They finished their heat and sat in the channel and watched too. But man, that event was insane. We got Chris and Rob chiming in right now, watching live. What's up, you guys? But were you guys watching or have you watched the Shark Island event? If you haven't, definitely put it on your to-do list. I can only stay up until 11, Jackson. I don't know how
Yeah,
you do 3 a.m.
it's day one and day two in their entirety are both available on Sporting News Australia on YouTube. And you know what? If you get a chance to sit down and watch it start to finish, definitely worth throwing some popcorn in the microwave, sitting down and enjoying the show all over again. Um,
Yeah.
Also, something else I wanted to mention, not only, was there serious action going on out in the water, but there were a couple thousand people on the headland watching the event, And amongst the crowd, there was a plethora of Australian bodyboarding legends that came out to watch the event, watch it all go down. A couple of them even jumped in the commentary booth. During the women's final, I was super stoked to hear Emma Cobb in the commentators booth. How rad was that to have her commentating?
Yeah, I was watching some of it while I was driving, while I was listening, and when it was safe, I would look at the phone. But as soon as I chimed in and started watching the live feed, I heard Emma's voice. I'm like, "What?" You and I both know her, and we love her, and it was so stoked to see her in the commentating booth.
For those of you who aren't familiar with Emma Cobb, she's an amazing human being. You know, a very talented Australian bodyboarder. She actually finished number 2 in the world behind Isabella Souza several years back on the world tour. And yeah, just an incredible person. Uh, my ex-wife and I played host to her in Rio one year for
Oh,
Rio
nice.
Bodybuilding International, and it's just super cool. So, you know, to have a bodyboarding talent like that, you know, carrying the voice, you know, and the commentary for the women's final at Shark Island and only its second year, that was a cool touch. Kudos to the people that were like, hey, let's get Emma in the booth.
Yeah, yeah, I was super stoked to hear her voice and just super stoked watching the entire event, was just as Rob says over here in the chat, the sick was sick. So yeah, Jackson, I know you pulled up some videos. I know you got some goods, but let's talk about your favorite highlight.
First, I just wanted to throw a little extra above and beyond
Yeah.
shout out. During day one of the live broadcast, Brendan Newton and Tessa McKenna were super cool enough to give me a shout out, had some very kind words for me. Gentlemen, I greatly appreciate it. You know, if you told me years ago that I'd be watching the Shark Island Challenge on my computer live in the wee hours of the morning and that I'd be getting a shout out from Australia, I would have been
Yep.
my mind would have been completely blown. So, you know, gentlemen, thank you. Truly humbling, greatly appreciated. And Tessa, it was great to hear you on the commentary, see you in the booth with Brendo. Uh, Oh, yeah, always a pleasure. Always an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, Brendan Newton, holy crap, he is very, very talented on the mic, and I mean, he has so much history too to bring to the table, and he's able to talk to those special guests that do come into the booth, on their level. It was actually really cool to hear Brendan, behind the mic.
All right. Now, you were asking what I felt the highlights of the contest were.
For you, yeah,
For me, anyway, first and foremost, Damian King. Kingy, you're 47 years old and you have not lost a step, brother. He was riding smooth, clean, and technical. You know, tying together spin to cut back the forward spin to set up the barrel. That is brilliant bodyboarding.
yeah.
Excuse me. I'm going to tear up my throat tonight.
Yeah, the standout for me, I think, has to go with so Kingy back in I think 2001, he's won it 25 years ago. And here he is 25 years later, still throwing down and was so close from pulling out another win. But man, I'm 54 years old. I was never really, really a big wave charger, but I love some of the big stuff, but not at this level. This was never my repertoire. But I just seeing Mike Stewart out there just completely charging at his age. What is he now? Is he
63 years old.
63 freaking years old? What other 63-year-old do you know that would freaking throw their body off a building and freaking pull into a ginormous slabbing barrel?
You
Zero.
remember the old Gatorade commercials with Michael Jordan? Be like Mike? Forget Jordan. I want to be like Mike Stewart. When I'm 73, I want to still be charging barrels.
Yeah, it is freaking crazy. So that I was blown away by some of the imagery and watching live and watching some of the videos, the replay, watching live, everything. I don't think it didn't really give it justice until you see the photos. That's when you freeze frame what is happening at like a millisecond when you're on the wave. Like the photos I
Wait,
seen were just freaking mind blowing.
wait till y'all see the highlights clip because they slowed it down a little. They did an amazing edit job. We'll get to that briefly. But also to continue on with highlights that for my personal favorite highlights, Lily Pollard absolutely sending it in the
Yeah.
women's final. I mean, she got lit up like a Christmas tree to the point that the wave blew both of her fins off. When the ski came in to pick her up, you could see her fins dragging behind her. Anybody who's ever had their fins blasted off and hanging from your ankles by tethers, that's like dragging cinder blocks behind you. You know, you feel like the New Jersey mom just dropped you in the water. And you know
Exactly.
what? She sent it like a champion. And Lily, I love you to death, girl. I miss you. Watching you go for it, damn near jumped out of my chair, screaming and yelling and cussing.
I mean, she threw it out there. Like she was in a predicament where the funds were very minimal and she needed this much to get there and make it happen. She threw it out to social media and I think within a day, she not only got that amount she needed, but she was able to freaking surpass that, three times over. And that is the amount of support and love that lady has. And I think she could probably do that for every event and like show up on a world tour with the amount of support that was shown on her GoFundMe page. It was insane. It was
Well, for
insane.
me, that's the bodyboarding world in general. You put it out there if you're
Yeah,
really in need. You know, someone or a group of someone's will most likely answer the call and lend a helping hand. You know,
100%.
we all help each other out at one point or another, and you just pay it forward.
Yeah, and there has something to be said about her too. I mean, not
Oh,
not
most
every
most most
not
definitely.
every bodyboarder is going to pull off what she just did on that level as far as when it comes to that type of support. And yeah, it was pretty evident that she is that type of person that can pull that off. I do have the chat box going, so if you guys are watching right now live, you can put a little chat. It'll show up on the screen there, right next to my arm. But yeah, Jackson. So
All right.
epic.
So we have a news portion for this event, mind you. For those of you that weren't able to stay awake for the whole thing or haven't caught the updates post event, Benny Sawyer, who was a
Oh,
machine throughout the event,
oh
took the
my
win.
God.
That guy, you know, you couldn't miss him with the classic old school yellow Gath helmet. He was nonstop from start to finish. The
Yep.
waves came his way. He made the best of them, and he ended up walking away the winner in the men's division.
Yeah.
The women's division,
Yeah.
only the second year there's been a women's division for Shark Island Challenge. And this year it was new Australian resident, five-time women's world champion Isabella Souza from Brazil
Wait a
taking
second.
the
She's
win.
living there now?
From what I understand, she has recently relocated for. She's originally from Brazil, was living in Portugal because if you live in Brazil, since it was formerly part of the Portuguese Empire, you have dual citizenship. So she relocated to Portugal for quite a few years, and now apparently she is relocated to Australia, where she's residing. Side note, from what I understand, Tanner McDaniel is also going to be moving to Australia.
Yep.
So, Oz is the hot spot, as always. But anyway, back to the point. Isabella took the win in the women's division. It's only the second time that a Brazilian has ever won the Shark Island Challenge. You have to go back to the early 2000s when six-time world champion Guilherme Tamega won it 3 years in a row, 2002, 2003, and 2004. It's been over 20 years since a Brazilian has won any division at the Shark Island Challenge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isabella pulled it off yesterday.
And with, I mean, she pulled it off hands down. She was finding the spot. And I think,
She had that one barrel ride. I was watching. I was like, that may have that may very well have won the final.
and has she competed in this event at this size before?
This was only the second, according to Bella during the awards ceremony. This is only the second time she's ever ridden Shark Island,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Holy
she
crap.
won.
Pretty amazing.
Yes, and then also winning the barrel of the contest and also scoring a trip to Secret Sumatra. Cohen Thomas. If you'll see his video in the highlights package, uh, yeah, the barrel he had was awesome. I don't know any other way to say it. Just awesome. And winning the Ring Award, named after Ryan McKinnon, Shark Island Charger, was Jacob Romero.
Yeah.
And you know what? Jacob actually got choked up accepting the award. He jokingly said that it's been a while since he won anything. But I tell you what, I was jumping out of my seat for Jacob when I saw that. It gave me chicken skin. Damn near brought me to tears. Jacob, I love you, brother. You deserve every accolade. You were going for it. And yeah, you didn't get the result you would have liked, but I guarantee you next year you'll have another shot at it. And I want to see you raise the serious hardware at the end of one of these events.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Jacob Romero loves the rights, and I mean, Shark Island is one of the gnarliest rights you can have compete in the world, and he, I mean, he's been pretty consistent competing in this event, and there's going to be a moment, and I agree with you that he's going to be able to hold up that trophy.
All right, so yeah, that's kind of my shout out, my news, and big part of this podcast tonight. Um, The other news I have, well, we have, is the Itacoatiara Pro World Festival in Brazil is underway, and we've got the highlights package coming up for that as well. They kicked off in solid 10-foot surf, and you had everything from 14-year-old Brazilian Groms to the seasoned World Tour vets charging 10-foot surf. And God, what I wouldn't give to be there right now.
Yeah, I know. Just to see what they were doing in that surf. You and I have been there, and we know like 3 to 4 foot waves at Itacoatiara is powerful. And these guys were competing in 8 to 10 foot Itacoatiara, which is just freaking another like you try to duck dive that, you're gonna get blown all the way back to the beach and freaking ragdolled underwater. And these guys were competing in it. And man, I know some of the guys were probably watching the event in Australia, wishing they were there, and vice versa. But man, we had incredible events on the other each end of the globe. It was pretty insane.
I tell you what, I have nothing but pure love for that event, for that venue, and that wave riding community there. Yeah, I mean the Itacoatiara Pro is something extremely special in my mind. You know, it's a nature preserve. It's open to the Atlantic, so it picks up swell from every direction. You've got four distinct breaks there. We've talked about it ad nauseum, about, the surrounding community, uh, the places to stay, the places to eat. Yeah, it's an event you have to experience at least once in your lifetime.
Yeah, that place is pretty epic. All right, Jackson, what do you want to start with? The highlights of Itacoatiara and then end with Shark Island?
First and foremost, let's go into Shark Island, and then since that event already wrapped, and then we'll go into the highlights for Itacoatiara, which is underway and something you want to stay tuned to. Um, You're definitely going to want to follow along IBC World Tour on YouTube and their Instagram page. Regardless of whatever qualms I may have, this is a phenomenal event with the world's best charging heavy beach break waves, and I've got nothing but love for this event. So
Okay.
yeah, let's start off with the highlights package for day one of the Shark Island Challenge.
All right, let's do it. Let's get some sound and booyah.
Welcome to the 2026 Bodyboard King Shark Island Challenge presented by Bolter, NMD, and Eljana.
I want to eat some Ojana.
Uh-huh, that looked good.
J-Rob on the right. Wow. Oh. How's that photographer? How did he not get sucked over? Oh. Sean Pine. His strategy sitting on the outside.
Yep. Here's another one, he looks solid the whole event.
That is insane. Oh, Lenny. Oh, he made that. He did not make that. No. Look how shallow it is. Is this Lily? No, Winnie. No, who was that?
I think that was winning.
So this is day one. And the conditions held through the entire 2 days, which was so fun. Sean Peterson with the drone footage.
Oh yeah, incredible work.
Good. Look at this madness right here. The photo of that is insane. Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. 63, Jackson. 63.
63. Mike, you're an inspiration to us all.
Oh, oh.
So heavy.
Oh, that was beautiful. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this angle is incredible. Oh, look how shallow it's submarine.
At one point on day two, in the early beginnings of the quarterfinals, it was so shallow that there was actually somebody standing up on exposed reef. You do not want to get
Oh,
dragged across it. That's how Doug Robson broke his back years and years ago.
yeah. Yep. I remember that. That was pretty hectic. Well, damn, that was intense. That was day one. Day two saw almost exactly a repeat as far as the conditions. There were times in the day where, yeah, it did just chandelier a little bit more, but glass conditions came in, they left, but overall they scored this year.
Still, yeah. I mean, I was so stoked to be able to watch that. You know, I didn't think twice about staying up till 3 a.m. But then again, I never really have. Some things never change, Manny.
Nope, nope. All right,
It
Jackson.
doesn't matter if I'm getting up at 3 a.m. or staying up till 3 a.m. If there's a bodyboarding event somewhere in the world to watch, I'm watching.
All right, Jackson. Hey, Koki, Team Koki bodybuilders in the south of Puerto Rico chimed in. JG is also online. Quick rundown on the winners one more time of the Shark Island Challenge 2026.
All right, so winning the men's division was Cronulla local Benny Sawyer. Winning the women's was Isabella Souza from Brazil. And winning the Ring Award, Jacob Romero from Hawaii. And winning the Best Barrel, Secret Sumatra Best Barrel Award was Cohen Thomas.
Epic.
You know, he's
Epic.
another one. His pocket spin in the barrel some really tech riding.
Yeah. Yeah, incredible. I I think I want to go back and see day one's live. I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of day two's recorded live feed, but yeah, I want to go back and see some more of the action.
And keep in mind, the highlights package for day two, the finals day, hasn't dropped yet as of this podcast, but stay tuned to Sporting News Australia on YouTube. I guarantee you that video clip is going to be popcorn worthy.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Let's take a quick look. That was day one, Shark Island Challenge. They got on the first day, they got 20,000 views for the highlight clip. At one point, I think I saw close to 50,000 people on the live feed. It was freaking amazing.
The live chat for that event, both days, was going absolutely
Yep.
Richter. It was scrolling so fast you could barely read what people were posting before it was scrolled right off the screen. I
So
mean,
good.
yeah, the froth level for that event was off the charts.
So good.
So, all right, and now, with the Shark Island Challenge wrapped up. At least I am. I'm turning my attention to the Itacoatiara Pro, which is now in its contest window, runs through early June. And they started off with a bang. And let's just jump right into this highlights clip from the start of the event.
All right. Well, really quick, Rob did ask, don't these organizers talk to each other so there's no conflict of int or conflict as far as like PLC and Amaury, those guys, I would love to have seen them at the Shark Island Challenge. The problem is the Shark Island Challenge has a month-long waiting period. Itacoatiara, they need to set a date so people can plan and prep and do their thing. So it's really, really tough. Even if they did talk, it would be tough because the Shark Island Challenge organizers are trying to pick the best month to have that window. And unfortunately, it landed on the
Three
same
month window, April,
three
May,
month
June,
window.
I believe it was. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, they're watching their charts, and when the swell forecast is looking good, and they say go and green light the event, you know, everybody, has been on alert, playing the
Yep.
waiting game. But they've got to jump to it, book that flight, get their butts over there, and you know, whereas the World Tour, you've got your contest window set and you kind of know, when it is, when you
Yep.
got to book your airfare and accommodations, when you got to be there, and what that time frame is. Whereas the Shark Island Challenge, it's an invitational event with a large window, like you were saying. So, it's at a moment's notice. Yeah, 3 month window, but just like that, it's time to go.
Yeah. And I believe Tanner was just in the Mentawais or Indonesia. Jacob Romero, he had to get on a flight, from Hawaii, and they give the green light just a couple days, a couple days before, a few days before the event is ready to go. You got to get on a plane and you got to show up in
And
charge.
And even Lily Pollard, we are talking about her, having to raise the funds to get to the Shark Island Challenge. She was on, I believe a cross-continent trip of Australia. She was on the other side of the continent. So,
Yeah,
yeah, things change, and turn on a dime. You got to be able to be ready to go at the drop of a hat.
you got to go. And they did, and they showed up and they threw down. That was a
Oh,
sick
and
event.
it was phenomenal. Worth
Yeah,
totally worth staying up to the wee hours. I'll do it again in a heartbeat. So,
totally.
anyway, let's jump into this highlights package for the opening of competition for the 2026 Itacoatiara Pro in Brazil. I mean, this place always delivers the goods, and this year seems to be no different.
Yeah. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
All right, rock and roll time. Let's get some audio. Share the audio. I don't know why this doesn't just stay on, but here we go. Oh my goodness, look at that monster. damn powerful.
Uh-huh.
Fala pessoal, sejam bem-vindos ao primeiro dia de competições do Itacoatiara Pro 2026. A gente foi recebido com ondas de 10 pés para abrir a etapa do circuito mundial de bodyboard. Os maiores atletas do mundo nas ondas mais pesadas do Brasil, nesse marzão aqui de Itacoatiara, e disputando com eles toda a turma local, a nova geração de atletas aqui da praia que está vindo forte. Vai ser um grande festival. A gente espera você aqui em Itacoatiara. Vamos nessa.
Oh my goodness. So you mentioned there's a whole contingent of new big wave riding, charging ROMs.
Yeah, here you can see it. I mean, there's 14-year-old kids going for it.
Pô, é muito legal ver a nova geração se conectando com as competições aqui em Itacoatiara, vendo esse público todo, assim, a galera torcendo por eles. Vi o Isaac ele arrebentando, passando bateria, dando um show mais grande pra caramba, né, com 14 anos, super tranquilo. Pra mim é uma satisfação ver o legado sendo deixado aí na praia. Pra mim é melhor do que dinheiro de premiação, troféu.
Kalani. Kalani's a beast. He
I
goes out
remember when Kalani was a Grom.
Exactly. Kalani, he's out there body surfing 60-foot nozzle.
Yeah.
Look at that. Pedra, local. Has Dudu won an event in Itacoatiara?
I don't believe so. At this point, the winningest bodyboarder at Itacoatiara has been Amaury Laverne. Maz has won it multiple times, and you know he'll be in the running again this year.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. Here's the sponsors for Itacoatiara, and you and I know Purasuco. Itacoatiara Inn, that was the best place to stay, and Invert Style Junior and the crew. But yeah, I definitely want to go back there.
You and me both, brother. And you know what? I have to give credit where credit is due. Event organizer Giuliano Lara,
Yes.
year in and year out, consistently makes this a premier event. One, in my opinion, one of the best, if not best, stops on the IBC World Tour. And even, you know, in its early stages, back when it was the APV World Tour, Itacoatiara is one of those venues you need to go there. You need to be there. You need to experience every part of the event in and out of the water.
I'm going to agree with you 110%. I mean, the venue itself is incredible. I mean, you got the white sandy beach, you got the warm water, you got barreling sandbar waves, and then on the beach, you have food vendors that come around serving up whatever food you can imagine. Cocktails, people are going by offering you fresh coconut water or cocktails. And then you just walk up these stairs and now you're on the main street. And along this street, you have, I think, maybe 4 or 5 kiosks or, you know, little cafes where they serve hot food. There's a full bar and you have this view of this beautiful ocean, beach and everything. And then you just walk up the street and then you have Purosuco, which has a more amazing food, and the acai bowls are there. They're amazing. And you got restaurants all within walking distance in this little community called Itacoatiara. And, you know, I'm not gonna the beach is just covered in beautiful women and beautiful humans. Like everybody there is just so fit, ripped, and just naturally beautiful. The venue is insane. Yes, and the organization of the event is freaking top notch. He doesn't miss anything. He's got it nailed down.
Yeah, so there you have it. That's what's going on in the world of bodyboarding right now. This weekend fired on all cylinders, like I said, between Shark Island going off, Itacoatiara in Brazil going off. It doesn't matter what end of the world you're talking about. There's waves to be ridden, and when it came to these events, it's great to see the Shark Island Challenge run again this year. And yet again, another year where the Itacoatiara Pro in Brazil is, starting off with a bang. So I can't
Yeah,
wait to see what comes next with the Itacoatiara Pro. Again, you want to stay tuned to IBC World Tour on YouTube for live webcast coverage and daily highlights packages. And I can't wait to see everybody battle it out. I foresee a lack of sleep this next week between work and bodyboarding live online.
yep, you got it. I'll be watching too. I'm really excited to see who's going to end up in the in the final at the Itacoatiara event.
All right, so you know what? That brings us to this week's Monday Motivation. And I'm going to steal a quote from the award ceremony at the Shark Island Challenge. They said this in regards to the Ringo Award and Jacob Romero, and I think it's fitting. Always say go, never say no.
Ah, yeah, I did hear that too.
There you have it, folks.
Love
With
it.
all that said and done, we'll see you next week for episode 344 of Boog Life Pitted with Action and Manny V. I'm going to go grab a quick snack and jump right back onto YouTube to watch the next episode of Manny V Stories coming up in a little over 15 minutes. So,
That's right.
Manny, I'll see you then. And everybody else, catch you next week. We're out. You.